The room was tense. Light from distant stars filtered through the large observation window, casting a faint glow over the gathered leaders of Earth's United Defense Council. Outside, orbiting command stations hummed quietly. Satellites scanned. The depths of space and the great planet below remained calm, unaware for now of the storm that brewed beyond its atmosphere. Admiral Lucia Reyes stood at the center, her sharp eyes reflecting a mix of determination and concern. "We've pushed every avenue for peace," she said, voice steady. "The Galactic Council's demands are clear. Surrender Earth's sovereignty, hand over our defenses, and become subservient, or face destruction." The room was silent. The weight of the ultimatum settled heavily over them. Diplomats had tried for decades to build trust. Humanity had sent envoys, trade offers, scientific collaborations. Yet the Galactic Council's suspicion grew, their patience thinning. In their eyes, humanity was unpredictable, reckless, and, most dangerous of all, independent. Dr. Malik, the chief scientist, spoke up. "Our defense systems are ready. Our warships have the latest upgrades, but we cannot fight this alone for long." A younger council member, Senator Tran, clenched his fists. "Then what do we do? Bend the knee? Give up what makes us human, Admiral?" Reyes met his gaze. "No. We prepare to send one final message to the galaxy." For days, Earth's leaders worked in secrecy. Communications with the Galactic Council were cut to a cold minimum, diplomacy replaced by silent resolve. The vast communications array in orbit was reconfigured to send a single, unmistakable broadcast, one that would reach every corner of the galaxy. Commander Jiro Tanaka, overseeing the transmission, watched as technicians prepared the message. "This isn't just a broadcast," he said. "It's a statement, a warning." "Then it must be clear," Reyes replied. "No threats, no pleas, just the truth." The message was simple but powerful. "You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences." On distant worlds, reactions were swift. In the bustling trade hub of Novara, merchants paused their deals, staring at their screens in disbelief. On the mining colonies of Ferris, workers stopped to listen as the message echoed through their communication devices. The Galactic Council convened emergency sessions. Star ambassadors argued fiercely, divided over how to respond to Earth's defiance. Some warned that humanity's resilience was underestimated. Others believed Earth was bluffing. Admiral Kalen Thar, the Council's military commander, issued orders. "Prepare for engagement. Earth must be subdued before it inspires others to rebel." Back on Earth, the atmosphere shifted. Citizens went about their lives, unaware of how close they were to war. Yet beneath the surface, entire industries turned to defense production. Engineers designed new starships. Scientists refined advanced weapons. Training centers buzzed with recruits, ready to defend their home at all costs. Reyes stood once, more before her crew aboard the flagship Resolute. "We did not choose this path," she said, "but we will walk it with honor. The galaxy will learn what it means to face Earth's resolve." The final message was sent, and the galaxy would never be the same. The message was simple, but it reverberated across the galaxy with unexpected force. From the crowded starports of distant colonies to the serene council chambers of ancient civilizations, every species heard Earth's final warning. You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. In Earth's orbit, the massive array of communication, satellites prepared to send a continuous transmission. The Resolute stood at the forefront, its black hull gleaming beneath the sun, a symbol of humanity's unyielding spirit. Commander Jiro Tanaka watched as technicians finalized the sequence. "This isn't just a message," he reminded his team. "It's a declaration that we're no longer willing to be pushed aside." The broadcast began, a clear, unambiguous signal, delivered simultaneously on all known frequencies, piercing through cosmic static and alien firewalls alike. The voice that carried the message was calm but firm, chosen to reflect humanity's unwavering stance. This is Earth, to the Galactic Council and all who listen. For decades, we have sought peace and cooperation. We extended hands of friendship, and were met with suspicion and ultimatums. Today we say, you chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. The phrase became a mantra, repeated in shocked whispers and fierce debates. Some were awed by Earth's boldness. Others feared the storm it promised. On Novara, Ambassador Lyra Valen sat in the council chamber, surrounded by delegates from countless species. Her hands clenched the armrests of her seat. "We have underestimated Earth for too long," she said. "This message is not empty threat. It is a promise." In the corridors outside, council representatives argued passionately. If Earth can unite so completely, we risk a war unlike any before. Others responded, "We must act swiftly or lose control." Back on Earth, the final broadcast was just the beginning. Admiral Reyes convened her command team aboard the Resolute. "The Council will respond," she warned. "We must be ready." Science Officer Vesha reported on new intelligence. "Satellite scans show increased fleet movements near our borders. The Council is mobilizing." Lieutenant Mara Chen, recently returned from a reconnaissance mission, added, "Our intelligence suggests they believe Earth is weak, but they haven't seen what we've been building. From shipyards to research labs, humanity prepared not just to defend, but to fight, with precision and determination." Meanwhile, in a council war room orbiting the capital world, Admiral Kalen Thar surveyed holographic star maps. His face was grim. "Earth's message is a challenge," he said. "We cannot allow them to ignite rebellion across the galaxy." He activated fleet commands. "Prepare the strike force. We will show Earth the true power of the Council." In the days that followed, transmissions from Earth spread further. Scientists revealed breakthroughs in defensive technology. Pilots trained with unprecedented rigor. Citizens volunteered in record numbers. Yet amidst the preparations, there was a common thread, a hope that this conflict could end before it began, that reason might still prevail. But the galaxy was watching. And now, the silence that had defined Earth for centuries was broken. A new era was dawning, one where humanity's voice was heard loud and clear. The air in Earth's command centers buzzed with focused energy. Across sprawling complexes beneath the surface and on orbital stations circling the planet, the wheels of preparation turned swiftly. What had once been quiet research projects and training drills now became the heart of humanity's defense. Admiral Lucia Reyes paced the bridge of the Resolute, her eyes sweeping over the holographic battle maps glowing before her. The Galactic Council's fleets had begun their slow advance, yet the true test of Earth's resolve had only just begun. Commander Jiro Tanaka stood nearby, fingers tapping on a console. "Our warships have undergone upgrades you wouldn't believe. Stealth technology, enhanced energy shields, and new weapon systems designed to punch through even the toughest armor." Reyes nodded. "And our crews?" Lieutenant Mara Chen answered from her station. "They're ready. Our pilots have trained in simulated battle environments modeled after the Council's tactics. They know what to expect and how to counter it." Across Earth's major cities, the mobilization was visible in every corner. Massive shipyards churned out vessels both new and refurbished, while training grounds buzzed with recruits learning the art of war. Citizens volunteered for support roles, engineers rushed to improve supply lines, and scientists pored over data from ancient ruins uncovered in recent decades, searching for anything that might give humanity an edge. In a quiet laboratory, deep underground, Dr. Malik examined blueprints of alien technology recovered from a distant star system. "These designs could revolutionize our defenses," he told his team. If we can adapt their energy modulation systems, our shields could withstand hits that would vaporize other ships. Meanwhile, intelligence analysts worked to decipher intercepted communications from the Council, piecing together the locations and strengths of enemy fleets. Beyond Earth, the galaxy was reacting. In the icy expanse of the Crithian Nebula, the planet Serena buzzed with diplomatic debate. Representatives of minor species gathered, fearful of the rising conflict between Earth and the Council. "Earth's defiance is inspiring," said Ambassador Vec, a silver-scaled Serenian. "But war between these powers could devastate us all." Others countered, "We must choose sides or prepare to defend ourselves." On the front lines, the Galactic Council accelerated their preparations. Warships slipped from hidden docks, fleets gathering like shadows beneath distant suns. Admiral Kalen Thar oversaw the deployment with military precision. "We strike before Earth's full power is unleashed," he ordered. "Crush their outer defenses and force surrender." Yet as the Council's forces gathered, there was unease. Reports from scouts indicated Earth's ships were unlike any previously encountered. Tougher, faster, more adaptable. Back on the Resolute, Reyes surveyed the fleet assembling in orbit. 100 vessels, ranging from swift fighters to massive dreadnoughts, formed a shield around Earth. "This fleet is more than machines," Reyes said quietly. "It is a symbol of humanity's refusal to bow, of our will to survive." Vesha, the ship's science officer, added, "We have technology the Council does not expect. The element of surprise is ours." Reyes's gaze hardened. "Then we use it wisely." As mobilization reached its peak, Earth sent envoys to nearby neutral systems, seeking alliances or at least assurances of neutrality. The message was clear. This war was not for conquest, but for survival, and those who respected that might avoid becoming collateral damage. In the hushed halls of diplomacy, some worlds listened. Others prepared their own fleets, uncertain which side to support. As the first signs of conflict loomed on the horizon, Earth stood ready, its people united by the message that had echoed across the stars. You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. The galaxy held its breath. The cold vacuum of space was suddenly shattered by streaks of light, trails of missiles and energy blasts illuminating the darkness. The Galactic Council had made its move. From the observation deck of the Resolute, Captain Elaine Rourke watched the battle unfold with steady focus. The Council's fleet was descending rapidly toward Earth's outer defense stations, expecting a swift victory. They believed Earth was unprepared, vulnerable. They were wrong. The Resolute and its fleet had anticipated this assault. As Council warships surged forward, they were met with a wall of countermeasures and traps. Mines embedded in asteroid fields detonated with precision. Electronic warfare systems scrambled enemy targeting. Stealth fighters emerged from hidden docks to strike vulnerable points in the Council's formation. Lieutenant Mara Chen piloted one such fighter, weaving through laser fire with calculated grace. "We're hitting them hard and fast," she reported to the flagship. They didn't expect this level of resistance. Back on the Resolute, Commander Jiro Tanaka coordinated the fleet's response. "Focus on their command vessels. Without leadership, their attack will falter." Despite their technological superiority, the Council's fleet struggled to adapt to Earth's tactics. The humans fought not with reckless fury, but with disciplined precision and innovative strategy. Earth's ships moved in coordinated formations, exploiting weaknesses and striking with surgical accuracy. One of the Council's dreadnoughts, a massive vessel bristling with weapons, erupted in a cascade of explosions after a well-placed volley from Earth's pulse cannons. The battlefield lit up as debris scattered through space. Admiral Reyes's voice was calm but resolute over the comms. "Hold your positions. Push them back." In the chaos, a Council cruiser attempted a desperate retreat, Mara Chen's fighter intercepted, disabling the cruiser's engines with an expertly targeted shot. The cruiser drifted helplessly, a testament to Earth's growing control of the battle. On board the Resolute, Science Officer Vesha monitored energy signatures. "Our shields are holding, but their weapons are adapting. We can't afford to let this drag on." Reyes nodded. "Then we end this quickly. Launch the special operation teams, target their logistics and communication nodes, cut off their ability to coordinate." Deep within the Council's ranks, tension grew. Admiral Kalen Thar stared at the cascading failures on his tactical display. Earth's forces are stronger than anticipated. This is no simple rebellion. It's a war for survival. He ordered reinforcements, but Earth's ambushes and electronic countermeasures delayed their arrival. Every maneuver the Council made was met with swift counters. On Earth, the citizens listened anxiously as news of the battle spread. Broadcasts showed glimpses of human pilots in their fighters, the flames of warships exploding against the darkness of space. The message was clear. Earth was ready, and it would not back down. As the Council's assault faltered, the Resolute initiated a daring counterattack. A squadron of human warships launched a precision strike against the enemy's main assault fleet. The operation disrupted the Council's offensive, forcing a retreat. The battlefield quieted, but the war was far from over. Admiral Reyes addressed her crew. This was their first strike. They expected a quick victory, but we showed them Earth's strength. The galaxy will now understand that humanity is no longer a force to be underestimated. Commander Tanaka looked toward the stars. They will come back, harder, smarter, but so will we. In the war rooms of the Galactic Council, the defeat forced hard decisions. The Council convened, their leaders acknowledging that Earth was more formidable than anyone had predicted. Yet pride and fear drove them forward. "We must crush this rebellion," Admiral Thar declared, "or risk losing control of the galaxy." Back on Earth, the final broadcast's meaning deepened. You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. Humanity had spoken, and now it was ready to act. The aftermath of the first strike rippled far beyond Earth's orbit. As news of the battle spread, the political landscape of the galaxy began to shift, fracturing under the pressure of Earth's fierce resistance. In the grand halls of the Galactic Council, discord grew louder. Once a bastion of unity among diverse species, the Council now struggled to maintain cohesion. The defeat had exposed fault lines, ancient rivalries and fresh fears bubbling to the surface. Ambassador Lyra Valen of Novara addressed the assembly, her voice steady but urgent. "We underestimated Earth's resolve. Our forces are stretched thin, and our allies question the wisdom of this war. If we continue down this path, we risk fracturing the very foundation of our alliance." From the opposite side, General Rethak, a towering figure from the warrior species of Karis, slammed his fist on the table. "If we falter now, we invite chaos. Earth's rebellion threatens the balance. We must respond with greater force, total domination." Outside the council chambers, murmurs of dissent grew louder. Several minor factions, watching Earth's unexpected strength, began to reconsider their positions. On the neutral planet of Zaylan, the High Council debated quietly. "Earth shows unprecedented unity and power," said Elder Sierra. "To side against them now may mean ruin. Perhaps it is time to rethink our allegiance." Meanwhile, in the shadowed corridors of the Council's command hub, some military commanders quietly met with Earth's envoys, signaling their intent to withdraw support or remain neutral. On Earth, Admiral Reyes received word of these fractures. She stood before the assembled commanders on the Resolute, a rare smile touching her lips. "The Council's grip is weakening. Their internal divisions give us a strategic advantage we cannot ignore." Commander Jiro Tanaka nodded. "We've intercepted messages from factions willing to talk. They fear the Council's stubbornness may destroy them all. Lieutenant Mara Chen added, "If we can build on this, we might turn enemies into allies, or at least keep some factions out of the fight." Earth's diplomats were swift. Envoys traveled at near-light speeds to distant worlds, delivering messages of peace and partnership. The words were clear. Humanity sought no conquest, only the right to exist free and strong. On the desert world of Garros, a former Council ally, the planetary governor considered Earth's proposal. If Earth can defend itself so fiercely joining, the Council's cause could mean certain destruction. Perhaps neutrality, or even alliance, is wiser. But not all were so willing. The Council's hardliners saw these defections as betrayal. They pushed for harsher measures, tighter control, and a more aggressive war effort. Admiral Kalen Thar called a council of war, his tone colder than ever. "We must crush these dissenters swiftly. No fracture will be tolerated." Back on Earth, the atmosphere was tense but hopeful. The population worked tirelessly, aware that every ship built, every pilot trained, was a step closer to survival. Dr. Malik worked in his lab, studying alien technologies from the recovered ruins. "Our advancements could shift the balance," he told his team. "The fractures in the Council make this the perfect moment to strike strategically." Meanwhile, the galaxy watched as the Council's unity unraveled. The war that was meant to be swift and decisive had become a prolonged conflict, fueled by fear and resilience. In a hidden corner of the galaxy, an unexpected alliance formed. Representatives from several neutral and disillusioned factions met. With Earth's diplomats, their voices cautious but sincere. "Your strength is undeniable," one ambassador said. "We seek peace, not destruction. Perhaps together we can forge a new path." On the bridge of the Resolute, Admiral Reyes stood firm. "The galaxy has chosen. They can stand with us or fall apart on their own." Earth's final message was clear. "You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences." The galaxy's future hung in the balance, shaped by shattered alliances and the indomitable will of humanity. While Earth and its allies solidified their defenses and prepared for the coming storm, unrest rippled through the galactic councils, vast territories. The cracks in the alliance had grown into fractures deep enough to threaten collapse. Across countless star systems, pockets of dissent took root. Some factions, long oppressed or overlooked by the Council's rigid hierarchy, began to question their allegiance. Whispers of rebellion stirred in the shadows. On the industrial world of Draven, factories once dedicated to producing war machines for the Council now hummed with secret activity. Underground resistance cells formed, sharing intelligence and sabotaging supply lines. Lila, a former Council engineer turned rebel leader, coordinated efforts from a hidden bunker. "The Council's arrogance is their weakness," she told her comrades. "Earth showed us that strength lies not in domination, but in unity and resilience." Meanwhile, Earth's diplomatic efforts reached these insurgent groups. Envoys traveled to star systems far from the front lines, offering support and promising a new alliance based on respect and cooperation rather than fear. Admiral Reyes reviewed the latest reports aboard the Resolute. "We cannot fight this war on the battlefield alone," she said. "We need to empower those who wish to break free from tyranny." Commander Tanaka nodded. "Intelligence from rebels has already helped us anticipate several Council maneuvers. Their knowledge is invaluable." In the shadows of the Council's capital world, whispers of rebellion grew bolder. A clandestine meeting took place in the heart of the city, where disillusioned Council members and rebel sympathizers plotted their next moves. Ambassador Valen, once a staunch supporter of the Council, now walked a dangerous path. "If we do not act soon, the Council will destroy itself," she warned. "We must find a way to bring peace before the war consumes us all." But the Council's leadership was unyielding. Admiral Kalen Thar tightened his grip, imposing martial law across key systems and deploying ruthless enforcers to quell dissent. In a public broadcast, he declared, "Rebellion is treason. The Council will be united or it will fall. We will root out the traitors and crush this insurrection." The harsh response only fueled the fires of rebellion. Resistance fighters struck swiftly, disabling communication hubs, disrupting supply routes, and liberating captured worlds. On the mining colony of Zara, Lila led a daring raid against a Council outpost. Explosions rocked the facility as rebels seized control, signaling a victory that echoed throughout the galaxy. Back on Earth, the Resolute received word of these successes. Admiral Reyes allowed herself a brief smile. Every world that breaks free weakens the Council's hold. This is more than a war, it is a revolution. Lieutenant Mara Chen prepared for the next phase of their campaign. We fight on all fronts: space, diplomacy, and now rebellion. As the conflict deepened, Earth's forces became beacons of hope for those oppressed by the Council's rule. The human warship, once seen as an isolated defender, now symbolized the possibility of change. Yet in the midst of growing rebellion, the Council was not idle. Secret operations targeted rebel leaders, and spies infiltrated resistance cells. The war was no longer just open conflict. It was a shadow game of deception and survival. Admiral Reyes gathered her senior officers. "The Council's fractures give us an advantage, but they will fight dirty. We must be vigilant. The galaxy's fate depends on our strength and unity." Commander Tanaka looked out at the stars. "The consequences of this conflict will shape generations. We must ensure that the future we build is worth the price." As shadows of rebellion stretched across the galaxy, Earth stood ready, not only to defend its home, but to inspire a new dawn of freedom. The final message still echoed. "You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences." The galaxy held its breath as the war entered a pivotal phase. Earth's resolve had not only survived the Council's initial onslaught, but had ignited a wave of rebellion across star systems. Now, the momentum was shifting. On the bridge of the Resolute, Admiral Lucia Reyes stood before a massive tactical display, her eyes sharp and unyielding. Reports flooded in. Rebel forces gaining ground, Council fleets in disarray, systems once loyal now defecting. "Commander Tanaka," she said, voice steady, "prepare for coordinated strikes on the Council's supply routes and key command centers. We will cut off their ability to regroup." Tanaka nodded. "Our intelligence teams have pinpointed their vulnerabilities. It's time to press the advantage." Elsewhere, on the frontier worlds liberated from Council control, celebrations mingled with preparation. Resistance leaders met with Earth's envoys, forging new alliances and sharing battle-hardened tactics. Lila, the former engineer turned rebel leader, stood before a gathering of commanders. "We fight not just for ourselves, but for every world shackled by fear. The Council's grip weakens, but we must remain vigilant." Her words resonated deeply. Across the galaxy, those yearning for freedom found renewed courage. In the shadows, the Council's response grew desperate. Admiral Kalen Thar convened an emergency war council, his face grim. "We have lost too many systems. Our forces are stretched thin, and the rebellion grows bolder." A grizzled general countered, "If we cannot win the war outright, perhaps we can fracture the rebellion itself." Thar's eyes hardened. "Then we will employ every means: covert operations, sabotage, misinformation. The Council will not fall." The Resolute's war rooms buzzed with activity as Earth's forces prepared for their largest offensive yet. Targeting the Council's central communication network, the strike promised to sever command and control, throwing their forces into chaos. Lieutenant Mara Chen briefed her pilots. "This mission will be challenging, but it is crucial. Disrupt their coordination and we cripple their ability to fight." As the strike force launched, the galaxy watched with bated breath. The assault was swift and devastating. Council warships scrambled to defend their vital hubs, but Earth's precision and coordination overwhelmed them. Explosions rocked orbital stations, and communication grids went dark. On board the Resolute, Admiral Reyes allowed herself a moment of satisfaction. This is the turning tide. The Council will reel from this blow. In the wake of the attack, rebel forces seized the opportunity to advance. Systems that once feared retribution now stood boldly against their former masters. But the war was far from over. Back in the Council's capital, cracks deepened. Factions that once stood united now argued over strategy and survival. Ambassador Lyra Valen, advocating for peace, clashed with hardliners demanding total war. "We cannot win by destruction alone," she warned. "We must seek compromise before it's too late." Her words fell on deaf ears. As the conflict escalated, Earth's leaders understood that the final battles would not only be fought in space, but in the hearts and minds of the galaxy's inhabitants. Admiral Reyes stood before her crew. "This war tests everything we are, but it also reveals our strength, our unity, our courage. We fight not just for survival, but for a future where freedom thrives." The message was clear across star systems. Earth's stand had ignited a revolution that could not be undone. The galaxy held its breath as the final chapter of the conflict unfolded. Earth's message had been sent loud and clear. You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. And those consequences were coming, faster and harder than anyone had anticipated. On the bridge of the Resolute, Admiral Lucia Reyes stood resolute, eyes fixed on the tactical displays showing Council forces scrambling in disarray. The Council's communications were fragmented, their fleets divided and vulnerable. "This is our moment," Reyes said calmly. "We strike decisively and end this war before more worlds suffer." Commander Tanaka nodded, ready at his station. "All units are prepped and awaiting your orders." Across the galaxy, rebellion and resistance movements rallied. Once disparate groups now moved in coordinated harmony, emboldened by Earth's leadership and strength. The tides had turned irreversibly against the Galactic Council's tyranny. Lila, the rebel leader who had emerged from the shadows, addressed her forces on the liberated world of Zara. "Our fight has been long and hard, but freedom is within reach. Stand firm, and soon we will rebuild what was lost." The Resolute led the charge into the heart of the Council's territory. Fleet after fleet engaged in fierce battles among the stars, each victory pushing the Council closer to collapse. Despite their desperation, the Council fought fiercely. Admiral Kalen Thar, now isolated and cornered, refused to surrender. His final transmissions were filled with defiance, even as systems fell around him. Amid the chaos, a council of peace was secretly convened by those within the council willing to end the war. Ambassador Lyra Valen, spearheading the effort, reached out to Earth's leaders. "War has ravaged the galaxy," she said in a secure transmission. "It is time to rebuild, to forge a new alliance based on mutual respect and peace." Admiral Reyes considered the offer carefully. "Peace is the goal we fight for. We will negotiate, but the consequences of aggression will never be forgotten." As battles raged, Earth's final strike dismantled the Council's command infrastructure. Without leadership or communication, Council fleets surrendered or fled. Worlds once shackled were freed. On Earth, the population watched anxiously as the war concluded. Victory was bittersweet. The cost had been high, but the future was hopeful. Admiral Reyes addressed the global broadcast. "We have faced the storm and emerged stronger. The galaxy has seen the strength of humanity, not just in battle, but in spirit. This is a new dawn for all who seek freedom. The galaxy would never be the same. Old alliances shattered, new ones forged. The Council's reign ended, replaced by a federation that embraced cooperation, justice, and peace." Earth's final message echoed through the stars. A lasting reminder. You chose this conflict. Now face the consequences. And those consequences were a galaxy transformed, one where humanity's resilience and courage inspired countless worlds to stand together, united by hope rather than fear.